everyone, welcome back to another week of rotations video. We're now week number, I think, 27 in this series. I've started since the beginning of the year, showing you everything I've worn all through the week, daytime, nighttime, casual, work, whatever it is. It's all from my collection. So some things are gonna be designer, some things are gonna be niche or indie, but most of them are gonna be cheapies because that is what I enjoy collecting and what this channel is all about. And as you can see from the color scheme behind me, this is after the July 4th weekend. Went out and about, had a good weekend, had a vacation time, really enjoyed it. But up until then, I did have to work. It is very warm, it's very hot, it's summertime. So I was breaking out all, of course, the things appropriate for the hot weather of summer. Actually, it was weird though, because we did have a big heat wave last week, and the beginning of this past week was actually a little cooler than normal, so it was very enjoyable, and I actually got to wear a couple things that I wouldn't normally get to wear. But starting off with the first day of the work week, it was one that I picked up in actually a recent haul. Actually, I picked this one up and did it for a live stream. I think it was the last live stream I did, which was like last week by this point, and it's one that I actually really like now. It's probably one of my most favorites, as like the top 5 currently in the Azzaro Chrome line, but it is this one called Azzaro Chrome Legend. Really like this one. This is very reminiscent to overall the whole Chrome profile, and very similar to things like the Eau de Parfum, and even some of the new things I got too. I think I have now Chrome Azure, similar to that as well, but a little more of a 2007, mid-2000s kick to it. Very interesting. It's very fruity on the top, a little slightly sweet, but not, so much. A little bit of that metallic musk kind of factor that Chrome is known for, but as it dries down, there's a lot more of an oak moss ambery facet to it. Very enjoyable, very hyper masculine. And when I smelled this, it very much has that cologne smell that most people say is like the cologne masculine kind of thing. Oh man, I like that cologne, or I smell like cologne. That's probably what they're talking about here. More than just us being able to pick out certain notes, people just say it smells like cologne. It definitely has it to it. I've probably smelled this 1,000 times plus over back when I was growing up in the mid-2000s. A lot of people in suits definitely had this on a good bit. Very enjoyable, a good performer, like medium to loud projection for that first little bit, and had a good longevity to it, like about maybe 6 hours, close enough. That oak moss and amber really holds to the skin, a little musky, earthy, herbaceous as it dries down. Still very fresh and aquatic though, like most of the Chromes. Very nice though. Don't like the new formulation or the new rendition of the bottle and the cap fool you. This is very much still in that same style that it was, and a really good price tag on this as well. Really nice. If you do get a chance to pick this one up, definitely recommend it. And you'll also notice a little theme that I didn't wear any fragrances at nighttime majority of the week, and you'll see why, because a little project that I'm working on. So mostly daytime, so these should go by pretty quick. So hopefully this is a short video. But the second day, that Tuesday, again, a little cooler of a day. I think the high was only like 86, 87, which is very abnormal for us in July here in the South. But I got to wear one that I haven't worn a whole lot. My second time wearing it, and really enjoyed it. It is by Michael Malone and Gent Sense, and it is Edgewater. Very much a green, herbaceous style fragrance, but not really so much. It's actually more of a tonka bean coumarin dominant fragrance. A little bit of that rubbery kind of smell that you get with that, little powdery. There's also a good bit of spiciness, and the saffron that's in this is the most notable note that I get, but it still is very fresh. It might remind you of some things similar to, Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Paradise Garden. Very far flung from that, but it might give you a reminiscence to it. It still is pretty much its own thing, like a combination of some things. Very nice though. It does dry down, having a little bit of a, ambery, sweet, almost herbaceous feel to it. Very nice. It is very green. I think this is more suited probably for the middle and high of springtime, not so much in summer. You could pull this off very much in fall as well. Not gonna be an absolute cheapie unless you can find it for a really good price at things like Fragrance Outlet or the Frag Outlet and Perfumvia or Perfumania. Sorry, Perfumania. I actually got this from Fragrance Outlet from their $30 of the week, or I had a case that was like, everything in this case is $30 for this week, and I found it for that price, which is astounding, absolutely amazing, and really good. So yeah, if you find it for that price, definitely recommend it. Not gonna be the best performer like most of Ash's stuff is for some reason, but it still is a really high quality scent. It's like a medium loud projection for that first little bit, but it dies down pretty quick, and it stays pretty subtle or medium for majority of the fragrance, which is about like the 4 to 5 hour mark. That's most notable, but of course you can't spray a whole lot on, and depending on your situation and where you're at and how you wear it is how long it'll last. But still really good overall. Absolutely love it, and it's also a big compliment puller because it is like a sweeter, fresh, but more interesting fragrance. Still really good. And on that Wednesday, it was warming up a good bit. Decided to wear one that I actually picked up and talked about a couple week rotations ago, and actually seen a lot more people talk about this online as well. And so I decided to give it another chance and see what it was like. It is by Cod Lodge, and it is Carus Blue Spice. I actually found this one at TJ Maxx, which is, I think I've seen this actually a lot of other bottles there as well. So if you go to TJ Maxx now, you might be able to find this for a fairly good price. I think I picked this up for like $29.99, so around that area. It is a clone of Louis Vuitton's, I believe it's Imagination. Very much a green, but very dominant orange note on the top. Very citric, a little rindy, juicy, but very focused on that herbaceous green tea note in this. There's a little bit of incense, but I don't really get a whole lot of, or frankincense, but I don't get a whole lot of that kind of smoky nuance to it. Maybe very much in the background, but it's mainly just a fresh citric with a big focus on that green, very transparent, very fresh tea note. And actually, now that I sprayed this and a couple weeks ago, let it sit and macerate a little bit, I do get the tea note in this a lot more. It's actually gotten way better and way smoother, better quality overall. I can notice it a lot more. It still is fresh, has a little bit of a sweet, ambery, herbaceous note as it dries down. Very musky, very much a clean kind of smell to it. And I actually overall get a clean laundry, fresh linen kind of vibe from this overall, along with that green tea note and whatnot. But it does, to me, dry down a little flat, a little synthetic. It actually hits a kind of note that I don't really like that well, like a kind of musk that just does not vibe with me. A little cheap, which I understand it is a cheapie, but there's clones in this price range that I think would pull it off a lot better. So maybe I need to look for other Imagination clones instead. There's a lot of other ones I've heard about that I want to get in, but for the price I picked this up at, and I've seen it right then and right there, the top and mid of this is probably my favorite part. It is very nice. It is a compliment puller, very fresh, but maybe you won't get the same kind of weird dry down that I got. If you haven't, or if you have, let me know in the comments. But overall, really good. I mean, a good medium loud projection for the first part of the fragrance, like an hour or so, and the longevity is not that bad. But again, that dry down must kind of last a little longer, like up to like the 5-6 hour mark, and it starts losing that quality that I like so much in the mid. But still, overall, it's not bad and really good. Again, really good compliment puller, perfect for the summer and springtime. If you don't have this, try it out and see what you think about it. And that Thursday, had a very short work day because I had to leave early and start going on vacation. And I decided to wear one that I talked about in a recent video of things that I don't wear, but I need to start wearing. Fragrances that I just overlook so much because I have a lot or other things on my mind. I just seem that, out of sight, out of mind kind of deal, just put on the back burner. And this one is absolutely wonderful. Really love this one. It has been rumored and talked about being discontinued for a while, but I've been seeing it pop up all over Ross lately. So if you do see it, you need to get it. It is by Mont Blanc and it's Star Walker Extreme. Very much in the same style as Chanel's Allure Sport Eau Extreme, which is one of my favorites from the Chanel Allure Sport line, or a favorite from Chanel in general. And it has a little bit of a mixture with like Jimmy Choo Man, Coach for Men, that blue kind of style fruitiness. And as it dries down, it gets into that powdery, sweet tonka bean that's very similar to something like the original Bad Boy by Carolina Herrera. Very, very fruity sweet on the top though, a little citric as well. There's like a ton of fruit notes in this. In fact, I think there's a note in here that says fruity notes listed on top of all the other fruits and citruses that it has. It does have some watery notes. It is aquatic, it is fresh. It also has, like I said, a lot of that tonka bean, powdery, sweet, but also still staying very fresh and light. As it dries down, it has a little bit of that airy, watery muskiness along with that sweetness still. It is an amazing fragrance. It's not gonna be the same quality as Allure Sport Eau Extreme, but definitely has that same profile there, and it's reminiscent to that. And if you want to scratch that itch for a good price, or if you just want to pick up something that's very rare and still not smells like anything from any of the other Mont Blanc fragrances, this is a good one. Doesn't smell anything like the original Star Walker, so don't be expecting it to be like a big, heavy, woody, citric fragrance. It's very much more modern, like a very designer-esque kind of style, like those bigger designers are. Very underrated, but yet very, very good. And with performance, it's not the absolute best, even though I think it's gotten a little better over time. It has like a medium projection for that first little bit. Again, depending on how much you spray, and longevity has to be about like the 5 hour mark at most. Again, depends on how you wear it. I was moving a whole lot of the day, so maybe I wore it off pretty quick, but still, it's worth the respray. You can keep it with you. It's fairly inexpensive. I think I found this for like $21.99 now, which is crazy because online, even at Fragrance Buy, which I think has this now, it's like almost $40, $50. So definitely pick this up from a rack store, especially Ross, which is where I've seen multiple bottles at, especially before it gets harder to find since it is kind of discontinued. But yeah, really good stuff. If you want a good compliment puller that's modern, but yet masculine and very sexy as well, if I can be honest with you, this is a really good one to get. And then that Thursday night, we left out to go on the road, to go on vacation, and so I had a chance to wear a fragrance for that nighttime or for that road trip later that day, and decided to wear one that's a classic. I went back to the OG in this line just to see what it was like, and I still really enjoyed it. This thing is still fantastic. It is by Kenneth Cole. It is the original Mankind. Really, really nice, guys. This stuff is just I mean, it's sweet, it's aromatic, it has a little bit of freshness to it, a little ambery sweet, a little woody in the dry down, a little musky. It just very much harkens back to like those early 2010s kind of style that was a big confident puller people would get, and it just had like that teenager, young adult kind of smell to it. Really, really nice, still good, and not a bad performer as well. I sprayed this like at 6:30 before we left, rode all the way through. It was like 9:30, 10 that night when we were settling in, and I still smelled it on me. So going up to that 4 to 5 hour mark, so not bad at all, especially for the original one. I know all the other flankers are more complex and have better oomph to them, but this one gets forgotten about a whole lot, and it's very, very cheap at rack stores and online. I can find it almost all the time when I go, so definitely pick this one up if you want a good, quick cheapie that's nice, you know, very fresh, like I said, easygoing, casual, very youthful still as well. Absolutely love this one. Then it was that next day, July 4th. Didn't really do a whole lot, just hung out with my wife and baby, and also my brother and nephews came along as well, just to chill out, have a good time where we were, and just went around shopping, eating good places, just enjoying it, had a good time, and decided to wear one that was perfect for that day because it was extremely hot, even though it did cool off a good bit that night. It is by Dolce & Gabbana, and it was light blue, intense. I really want to get a bigger ball of this because I'm going to go through this pretty quick, especially if it stays this hot this summertime. Absolutely love it, guys. This stuff is totally worth getting, and it's way cheaper online now than it used to be. It's really, really good pricing. I think I picked the small bottle up for like $20-something at Fragrance Net. Of course, that was like 2 to 3 years ago, but still really nice. It is musky, airy, sea salty, marine, ozonic, has a good bit of citric pop on the top, but majority of it is going to be aquatic, sea salt, mineralic muskiness. And I know a lot of people may have a little bit of a problem with the muskiness. I know they say it smells like eggs or rotten eggs, and thank the Lord I have not had that problem with me. To me, it smells just very clean, very smooth. It is also a great performer. I mean, I still smell it on my undershirt that I have on now, and that was like 2 to 3 days ago, you know, and I wore it a good bit that day, did a whole lot, sweat a little bit because I walked around a whole lot, and it still is on there. So it has a very good lasting power, especially on clothes, and as far as on your skin, projection is easily like loud for like the first hour and a half to 2 hours with a wonderful sillage to it, and longevity, even on skin, is easily up to like 6+ hour mark. This stuff is absolutely incredible. Definitely recommend getting this one. I know it is a designer, but it is going more into that cheap part, especially depending on where you pick it up at. And if you do pick it up for cheap, I highly, highly recommend this. Then that nighttime, we went out to a park area that was around us that was doing a huge fireworks show, and we got there and all the hustle and bustle, thousands of cars everywhere, so we're trying to find our place where we want to sit. We got a good view, we had some good shots and really good time. It was our baby's first fireworks show, and he absolutely loved it, didn't cry or anything, so it was a nice time just as a family unit, just to enjoy it all together. And decided to wear one that I talked about in my Summer Cheapies video of this year. I think it fit perfect for the nighttime. Like I said, it was cooling off a little bit, and yet still a little humid, and it was great. It was Abercrombie & Fitch from the Authentic line, and it is Authentic Self. Really, really good stuff. A very, very aquatic, a little slightly fruity sweet on that opening. Again, very aquatic, like a marine style, and quickly you get into that vanilla, and as it dries down, has a nice warm amberiness to it without being too overwhelming or too dense. Still stays fresh, very light. This stuff is absolutely amazing. I mean, I really, really love it. I sprayed it on like right before we left, and I can still smell it on me even when we got back, even after walking in all the humid heat and moving around, all that. So I'd say it has like a medium to medium loud projection for that first little bit, again, depending on how much you spray, and longevity has to go about like maybe 5 hours or so. Again, it is an Abercrombie & Fitch, and some of them aren't known for the best performance, but this one I think is really good, especially if you want something that starts off being very fresh in the daytime and dries down being really warm, and like I said, sweet, sensual in that nighttime. This is perfect for it. Again, can't recommend this one enough. Again, can't recommend this one enough. There's a reason why it was in my Summer Cheapies video of this year, because it is so underappreciated, but yet it over delivers. Really, really good. And then on that next day, Saturday, which was actually yesterday, me and my wife went out, more by ourselves, just me, her, and baby, and just went shopping around, had a good time, found a lot of good fragrances as well, because you know I have to go by my rack stores, and especially if it's in a different area to see what they have, and just really enjoyed it, had a good time, and really, it was still hot, and it's still humid, like, you know, like usual here it is, but I wore one that I think that broke through the heat. It just kept everything very fresh, uplifted. It is a classic, everyone knows it, everyone talks about it. There's a reason why it is also called called Signature in the name because this is definitely a signature worthy scent. It is by Versace, and it is the original Versace Pour Homme, also called Versace Signature. This stuff is amazing. Very similar to things like Chanel Homme Sport and Missoni Wave, which Missoni Wave came out after those two, so it's more of a clone of these than these are to it. But anyway, this one is really, really nice. Very citric, has a good white floral and neroli aspect on that top, which is a good dominant part of the, especially the mid and heart of the fragrance, but very, very musky. This is a musk forward fragrance, which is what gives it such a lift and expansiveness, and also keeps it a little modern and keeps it very likable and very fresh. It's not too dense. It is absolutely a signature, especially for the hot weather and warm weather. It is the perfect companion to go along with you when you are braving the blazes of the sun. It is absolutely wonderful. Very classy as well. This did come out in 2006, so it may be a little dated to some people, but I think it is a modern classic. I think it still kicks. I think it still rocks now. Both guys, younger and older and middle age alike, can enjoy this one, but this may be more suited and lean a little more toward the more mature masculine side, a little more of the like 25 years or up kind of deal, maybe even 30 years or up. But young guys are still rocking this one. You know, if you want something more sweet and more candy-like, a little more modern, maybe Missoni Wave is more to go for, but for the more classy gentleman and one who wants a little more seriousness about it, for especially a signature, this is a great one to go with. Amazing performance as well. I mean, like a medium loud projection for that first like hour and a half or so, and it lasts easily like six plus hours, depending on how you wear it, obviously, but still really, really good. Absolutely love it. This is also one that you can get for very inexpensive online at online discounters, so definitely be looking at it and seeing what you can get, because I highly, highly recommend this one. And then at nighttime, the reason why I didn't wear anything for the first part of the week at night is because I was actually working on my own fragrance. I didn't want to have anything on me while I was trying to blend things and smell things out and get used to the raw materials. Those of you who were in my live stream when I did the last time, at the end of June or last week or so, whenever it was, might already know that I was talking about getting into perfumery, getting to make my own fragrances. I just want to understand things a little more. I was wanting to get into perfumery even before I started collecting fragrances, including the cheapies. It was something that I've just always been interested in wanting to do anyway. And I got a beginner's perfumery kit from the Perfumer's Apprentice, and they start you off in more oil-based perfumery, not really anything in fine fragrances. That includes like perfumer's alcohol and things like that. They start you off in oil carriers, and the one that I made was this one here, which you really can't really see, but it's a roller ball, very nice bottle as well. And I decided I wanted to make one that was very interesting. It was a aquatic ambery rose fragrance for a man, more masculine rose that's fresh, ambery, a little sweet, but also has a lot of like white florals and a little bit of a muskiness in there as well. The beginner's kit has accords that are way more floral focused and actually more light and fresh, not really anything too dense or heavy. Like they're probably gonna make things that are more suited for spring and summer, even though they do have like a vanilla bean accord, a amber accord, they still stay pretty light, you know, overall. And majority of the things that you put together, no matter how you adjust it, are gonna smell more unisex to feminine leaning, and that's this one. I was gonna try to make a masculine rose aquatic amber, but it's more unisex, slightly feminine leaning. There's not really anything that, they don't give you any like woods accords, no spices, nothing like that, no even strong citruses, nothing like that, so no fruits. So it really kind of made it difficult to get what I wanted, but it does give me to the beginner part of just, you know, smelling things and how to blend and get used to certain materials. I am going to order an extension on that kit. I think there's like a master's perfumery kit that I want to get that includes a lot other like accords that are, you know, ones made from Firmenich and Givaudan that are more professional grade that I kind of want to get. It gives me more materials to work with, and you know, it'll give me more options to choose from, but I do kind of want to get out of the oil carrier stage, which is I think majority of what all their kits include, and get into the actual fine fragrances. So that might take a little bit because there's a lot of equipment I got to order, but still, I'll order this one that night. It was nice. The coconut oil, the fractionated coconut oil they give you does dry down a little bit, you know, off, you know, if I can say that way. It has like an off oil smell to it as it dries down your skin, so it also makes the fragrance smell a little off as well. But for that first little bit, you can smell the top, middle, and some of the base notes before it does go off, and it smells pretty nice overall, I gotta say. So yeah, if you're interested in my journey with that, maybe I can make a second channel or a, you know, like I said, get an Instagram or something else to help you all keep up with that end and keep you updated on how things that I make. Maybe at some point I can even make my own inexpensive fragrance brand that is more, you know, interesting and more unique rather than just making all these clones and stuff. So yeah, if you do think that is something that you would like to watch or other people might like to watch, you know, my little perfumery journey on the alongside the O Cheap channel, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see what you think about how I can do that kind of stuff. And there you go, guys, all the things I've worn all through the week, both at work and on vacation, including one that I've made, which is very special to me. If any of these stood out to you or any that you're wanting to get, or you want to just ask questions about and get more information before you decide to buy it, let me know down in the comments below what you think about it or what you're thinking about buying. And let me know what you've worn this week, what fragrance stood out to you, or what did you wear on July 4th that made it a little more special and memorable to you. I'd love to hear about that as well. And if you enjoy this video, especially those who've been watching for a while and you still like this new different format I do for the weekly rotation videos, please give it a like and a thumbs up. Let me know that you like it and that I should keep making more just like this one. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you see here or what you see elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting the channel by subscribing and hit that notification bell so you can see all the other things that I have planned that are coming out of the pipeline that I'm gonna be bringing to you. I'd love for you to be right along with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey. And hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And as always, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And as usual, I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.